Welcome to the Stage Tally real-time crowd voting software. I'm visiting the livevotingapp.com website, and I'm going to go ahead and get logged in. And I happen to be logged in. We could see that I could log out or I could visit the Stage Tally website to learn more. Here I've got an example of two other connected devices, perhaps a tablet and a cell phone. Any device should have an easy time connecting to and using the livevotingapp.com software. Over here, I want to host a room. So maybe I'm giving a presentation or doing a teaching. In this case, I'm going to host Room James. I happen to already have Room James as a room I've created in the past, so I could select it there, or I could simply type it in. If this was my first time visiting, then I would have an opportunity to create a room of my choosing. Entering Room James as the host, I'm now presented the administrative console. We see here that this could also be presented on a mobile device or a tablet or any other device of your choosing, and neither interface or neither connection would need to install any unique software. There's no software to install. So over here, I could be a coach, a teacher, a trainer in the front of an auditorium hosting a call, and I might just say, I'm curious, of everybody listening right now, how many would consider themselves in category A, category B, or category C? And so category A, B, and C are listed here in the possible answers. I don't have a text. I could just push multiple options here to push these choices to each of those connected devices. I forgot to connect the devices. So here we go. All of my friends or participants, all the students in the room or otherwise, I've said, meet me at the livevotingapp.com and meet me in Room James. And they simply come in by going to Room James, or you've given them a URL and they've clicked on that, and that could take them directly into Room James. Well, we see here that each individual has showed up in the middle of my vote. And so they were also presented the choices A, B, and C. So I'm going to choose A on the first device and C on the second device. And we see here how in near real time, each of these devices has updated. I, the host, can see how many people have voted and how they voted, and each participant can see the results growing in front of them. I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen, and we see how each connected device snaps back to waiting for the next question. This time, let's say, how would you rate the content James has just presented? And now I'd like to give them the choices of 1 through 10. Again, I'm going to push that as a multiple choice option. And each of the devices that have been connected are going to update in near real time with these options. So I'm going to choose a 9 and a 10. We can see here how each device is kept synchronized. Again, no one installed anything and it works on all of your devices. I see that grow and grow, and at some point I say, "Excellent, thank you. That's great to know that we could work on that content or something." And we've got some other quick options here. You could simply ask yes or no questions and ABC questions, and you can rapidly, with one finger, move through some of these common scenarios. You can also create questions on your own. So what are the possible answers here? 1, 2, 3, and ABC. And if I were to save that now without providing a question text or optionally a button text, then what I'd be presented with is another one of these quick answer solutions, just like these, where there's no question text. You would either have to type that in, or perhaps more commonly, you would just say that from the stage. All right, if you're 1, 2, or 3, or A, B, or C, and then you could just push that as a multiple choice, right? Now, on the other hand, you could create a question, and let's say chicken, steak, fish, chocolate. Now, which do you prefer? And I could save that. And this is a different type of button. You see, this button fills in a question text. So now when I choose it and press multi-choice options, they're actually given the question text to go along with their ability to choose. And in this case, everyone chose chocolate if it was after lunch, and one of the meats if it was before lunch, as I've commonly found. So the optional text there, I've now selected which do you prefer, and clicking edit, I'm taken back to this screen, and I could change that question text. So if this became a mini novel, I may say shorten that, and then the button face out here would be nice and small, so I could continue to tap those with a finger on any device. Excellent. So now let's imagine we were talking along and we decided we wanted to say something about, we've been talking for the last 2 hours about finance. Would you like to connect next week and talk about your situation? And at this point, I'm going to push this as an open-ended text. And I'm going to say, if you'd like to get together next week and I can provide value to you in any way, we'd like to talk over your current situation. Why don't you go ahead and just give me your name, telephone number, and email address. And I'll make sure that we get in touch with you next week, right? And we could see then how from the podium or from the stage or over the phone call, we're able to just see those responses. Maybe there's hundreds or thousands of people and they're working to ask some questions or they're working together to solve a puzzle or to help you solve a problem or to throw their ideas on the table. It's a nice rapid model by which you can encourage the crowd to give you a digestible amount of brainstorming and open-ended ideas or however you'd like to use it. High utility, low cognitive cost. So I hit reset and that's saved. And again, all of this information has been saved in the database for later reporting, things of this nature. So there's a few other things I'd like to show you. And then what if I would like to allow more than one person to use a given device? So in this case, as people begin to vote, we see here an opportunity to allow another person to vote. And so they could perhaps more than one person use a device, or if you've got a table and no one at that table happens to have a device or their batteries have died, you can loan one tablet to a table of 8 and they could all share that. Again, the entire product at this time is fully anonymous and everyone is able to participate freely without identity or without being able to identify them. Of course, in the open-ended text, you can ask them to mention who they are, but you won't be able to correlate that back to their votes. Here we see the idea of showing charts to participants. If I uncheck showing charts to participants and I push multiple choice again, perhaps this is a pop quiz and the students are choosing their answers, but you don't want them to see all of the responses in real time. And so as you see those answers come in, you could then in turn release the chart for them to see, or if you've done so accidentally, you could hide it. So in this mode, you're able to create questions ahead of time or on the fly and ask them in the pop quiz style. Or perhaps you're doing an on-site training and you're out working in an engineering lab and you want to ask people about the tool and the safety requirements of that tool after you just trained them on it. You'd be able to push the questions in real time. Everyone could participate, and then you could show just how much of the room ultimately answered the question correctly or otherwise. So I think that's a good overview of where the project is currently at. I apologize. I've because of how I've logged in, there's a few down here you won't see when you log into your common accounts. Some things we're working on for the future, but you do have the ability to show charts and auto show charts or not, the ability to turn on and off, the allowing people to vote or not, and then you have an ability to invite others and host the rooms and get them into your rooms. You also have the ability to push a contact form that's available to you now that's not on this particular server, but you'll have a checkbox here for show contact form. And that just allows you to ask all 400 of them, hey, if you'd like to share your contact information with me, I'm going to send you out a follow-up, email, maybe some of the results of today's surveys, some things of this nature. And they could just go ahead and give you their name, email address, and phone number there. And you have the ability to close a room. So when you're not using the room, you close it, and then anybody that visits your room while it's closed, they'll have an opportunity to leave a message. They can send you a message, perhaps including their name, email address, etc. Thank you very much for taking a look at the live voting app. Again, my name is James Keyes. I'm one of the original team members, and I look forward to serving you in near future. Cheers. Bye-bye.